On Hamill, Newman going to Stephen Milne. It's going to be hot. Live and exclusive around Australia. You're watching Fox Footy. Saints to the left, Tigers to the right. We're underway with Noble getting it down for Tuck, who's been impressive in the opening month. Graham, now Bowden. That's not 15. Hyde's been terrific. The shackles are off him this year. Driving long. Here's the triangle at work, and already it's Hutchinson of St Kilda taking the points on Richo, number 1. Aaron Fiora against his old team, nearly kicking to a former teammate. Luke Ball, the acting skipper for the Saints. Little slick with a hand pass there. Good pickup. Raphael Clark. He's a classy finisher. Not that time. Desperate smother Kellaway. Good work, Hyde. Noble. Jackson. Back for Hyde. Saints tackling intense. Tigers keeping the footy. Tuck for Kellaway at midfield. Having to go backwards. Joel Bowden. Good architect from down back. Wide ball, Newman. Big job on Milne. Once again, here's Hyde. Getting plenty of touches. Well, awkward looking kick for Noble. And we'll have a bounce centre-half forward for the Tigers.
Kazicki started at centre-half forward. We thought he may have gone down back to cover the talls. And I think they'd be pretty happy with the matchup with Graham lining up there. He hasn't played centre-half back for a very long time, Graham. He's more of a half-back, flanker, back pocket player.
Tigers need a good start. Hyde, Chaffey. They've won 3 in a row, but a lot of question marks about the teams they've beaten. Brown to Richo. We dubbed them Batman and Robin last week. Richo's won a 3. And he will, you would assume, have a shot at goal. 48 metres out, right half forward. He will definitely not play on. Terry Wallace with the vow. He will drag whoever plays on with a mark or free inside 50.
There's been so much talk about forwards getting free kicks. That one was a little soft, and Warren Treadray could feel himself very unlucky if Richo got that one. But I think Maxi has a right to be a little unhappy.
He was taken out of the contest, so and I reckon that's got to be the parameter. If you're taken out of a context by Scraggy, you deserve a free kick. Can Richo get off to the big start?
6-2 last week. He's the Coleman medal leader with 16. And he's pushing this one across the face. Is it going to carry for a behind? It will. The game's opening score. Telstra Dome sold out on this Anzac Eve.
It's a funny pocket, that one. You have to kick the ball at the right-hand post so that it comes back from there, right to left.
Win.
Xavier Clark. Away. Now open forward line for the forwards to lead out. First, Garrick Gasper duel of the day. Ball spirits past them. Milne. You have to watch him at all times. Already out before the Hayes kick, boundary throw-in.
He had a couple of metres, Fraser, on Gasper then, but what he chose to do was actually slow down just before the ball got to him rather than attack the ball at full pace.
What's Gasper's biggest worry then? Garrick on the lead or a wrestle in the goal square?
Well, I think a bit of both. I think Fraser's good at both of those.
Kazicki to contest here with a former Saint. Noble knocking it down. And the Saints hailing the cab, play on the call. The umpires in white, as you see, McLaren, Grun and Quigley. Nick Del Santo. 101 possessions, chief ball winner by way of contested possessions in the AFL this year. Little too much on it. Brett Voss was the danger man last week with 4 goals. He sprays his first kick at goal this evening.
Speaking to Grant Thomas yesterday, he was saying that Brett Voss, they want him to come up to the midfield and also up forward a fair bit more just to get him used to a couple more roles.
Interesting role by Ray Hall. He's picked up Aaron Hamill, and at every opportunity he is running as deep as possible.
Which is good with Hamill. Question marks about his fitness coming into the match.
They get a turn over here. He'll end up with a footy.
Chaffey.
Centre.
To midfield. It was a good kick and strong hands by Trent Noble, who spent 3 years at Moorabbin. Lays it for Chaffey. Goes wide, Simmons and also Coughlin doubling back. Either would have done. Coughlin with the footy at left half forward. A double change for the Saints. Wayne Schwass.
Well, I mentioned about Mark Coughlin last week doing a terrific job on Fremantle's Paul Hazelby. He started on Luke Ball, but it looks as though he shifted on Nick Del Santo. That's a terrific move on behalf of Terry Wallace, just getting him back into some form, but putting pressure running forward and hopefully kicking a goal for the Tigers.
Yeah. One of the keys to that triangle you were talking about, Jared, is Noble. If he's able to take his catches, it allows these guys to play forward.
Yeah, this is the bloke I think that really has hit some peak form in his career. He's always been a very skilled player for a big man. Let's have a look.
Left foot, close. Cheer squad likes it. Stafford with the opening goal. And what nimble skills shown by Greg Stafford. It's his 50th game in a Tiger jumper today. He starts in fine style.
I've watched his career develop. In Sydney, he was a player that you always knew had another level to give. And I reckon under Terry Wallace, we're seeing the signs of him potentially exploring how far he can go as a player. He's being rested at times on the bench, and he always seems to be fresh, but he's just got great skills where it counts most deep in the forward line.
And the fact that he can line up forward, Noble doing a terrific job in the ruck the last couple of weeks, and he's able to go forward and take marks like that, he might be reborn as a forward for the Tigers.
Blood on the knee of Tuck, so that's why he's dashing off the ground. The video on.
I think the change of Coghlan onto Del Santo is basically Terry Wallace recognising the form of Del Santo. He hasn't had a lot of media exposure, but he would be very... If the umpires haven't given him 9 Brownlow votes, or a combination of 3 times whatever vote they give him, then they've got it wrong, because he's been in fine form.
101 possessions and more coming up here on the run from 50. Got it.
Gun.
There's your board goal.
3 out of the 4 matches so far, I reckon he would have polled Brownlow votes, and that's the way to start, Wayne.
Good call, Jared, but unfortunately, as we know, the umpires is probably lucky to have 2.
That sounds like a man who's...
Yeah, his career missed out on a few.
Bitter, and didn't have any regrets about not winning one?
Not bitter at all, Jared. Spewing.
Well, let's see how they go back in the centre, because that's just too easy. Terry Wallace would be filthy as a former centreman himself. That's what you train for from a St Kilda perspective, but also what you train for to negate if you are a Tiger player.
Saints with a quick answer. Entertaining opening 7 minutes. Noble beating Ackland there. Coghlan's handball ends up with Fiora to Pickett. Long ball. Yeah. Milne doubling back. Milne with courage.
Great mate.
He put his body on the line there. War one, but now can get the rewards.
Once again, too easy takes, and I reckon this is the move being made just to fix that centre clearance up. Delidio off. He started on Del Santo at that last centre clearance, and he allowed Del Santo to run free again, but that is an outstanding mark, which sets the trend once again for the Saints. Their first quarters have been superb when they win.
He definitely didn't expect himself to be in that position there, Melanie, but once he was there, he put his body on the line like everyone else.
He's been a straight shooter this year. 12 goals, 2 now, and the Saints have the lead.
Doesn't take too many marks backing back into packs.
No, but that was a great one, because there'll be a lot of people watching this match just to see how St Kilda are going. Gary Lyons declared them last week as the premiers, and people are sitting up and taking notice of this club as they head towards what could possibly be an historic first flag this century.
Good grab by Stephen Milne, and the perfect finish. Wonderful atmosphere in the dome.
Centre clearance, it's just got to get better, Tigers. As we see another blood rule this time, it's...
Luke Ball, he's had his nose broken a couple of times this year, now the knee with some blood on it.
Jared, you talk about the centre clearances. If you have a look at the Tiger makeup, you've got Mark Chaffey, you've got Shane Tuck, as well as Mark Coghlan. Mark Coghlan's probably the only real ball winner in that group, with all due respect. You look at St Kilda, Del Santo, Hayes and Harvey. They're all players that are attacking. It's a defensive mindset for the Tigers at the present moment.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Wayne. I think Delidio out will help them in this early part of the quarter.
Ruckman nullify one another. Coghlan is tied up. We'll do it again.
What about the interchange bench then? Ball off, Goddard on. It's not a bad change, is it?
Tidy. Very well, just waiting in the wings.
Yeah. Closing in on 50 games, Brendan Goddard, 47 tonight. Here he is with the hit out. Tigers, though, Simmons getting rid of Hyde, his teammate. Laying it off for Tivendale. Pops it in front of space. Joel Bowden, if it sits for him, a chance. It doesn't. Boundary throw-in.
Simmons looks as if he's gone to kick behind play now to stem the flow, which hasn't exactly been an avalanche of goals, only a couple, but he's gone to kick behind the play.
Tigers trailing on the score sheet have had 34 possessions to 14. Here's more. Coghlan, Tivendale. Now, Tuck driving it inside the 50. All St Kilda, well read by Raf Clark.
Thanks.
So already, Gerard, your triangle's been scrapped and it's turned into a straight line.
Yeah, well, he does that a fair bit, Terry Wallace. I think he just knows that to be in this match, they've got to be close at half-time, and St Kilda's first quarters have been explosive. So he will just want to play a holding game, I reckon, until the second half.
Here's Aaron Hamill driving it long to Gehrig with a couple to beat. Good fist by Gasper. Now Aussie Jones wheels onto the trusty left. Drives a bullet at Goddard. Too far out to goal, but he is a penetrating kick. He's got Maguire, who's floated forward. He's going to make the Tigers work, and he's marked well. Matthew Maguire without a goal this year.
If I was Grant Thomas, I'd be moving Fraser Gehrig to centre-half forward, bringing Gasper out to centre-half back, and putting Justin Kazicki at full forward with Graham on him. I just think, and get the ball in long.
Tigers have got to do something about winning the football, because they just are not getting enough of it at the moment, not winning enough contested ball. First 3 minutes are on top, and Richo has got to work better than that. He can't allow Matthew Maguire to float down and become an option inside 50.
9 goals for his career in 51 matches. It's double figures now.
Good start for St Kilda.
The Goose kicks one. The supporters are excited. And a backman always runs to the defensive end faster after he has kicked a goal.
In fair to Richo, Maxie Hutchton on Richo, so it wasn't Richo's man, but you can always follow him down as well, Gerard.
Yep. Well, it was Richo in pursuit, so I'm not sure whether they just changed responsibility shortly, but it is Troy Simmons, I guess, who has allowed Maguire to be free.
That's right, they're both playing loose.
Yep.
Maguire's place in the team confirmed regardless. He's going out with the captain's sister. Saints by 11 points. That's the acting captain, Luke Ball. This is where the Tigers need to take it away. Noble clashing and on the way down, knocking it forward, but Raf Clark starting well. Good pick-up. Here's Maguire again.
Just not sure it's going to work, this loose man, because Maguire is he's taking part in 2 forward thrusts.
Paul seeing it out. He's got the job on Aaron Hamill.
We see a lot of sides have a professional sweeper. I wouldn't think that Simmons comes into that class. So if he's going to play loose, is he able to set them up as good as what Maguire can set St Kilda up?
Noble in front, getting first hand to it. Peckett for Hayes, they're away. Fiora, good user on his right side. Close, got it, the former Tiger. The Saints have kicked 4 goals in 7 minutes. Continuing from where they left off last week.
It's not so much the goals, it's just the ease of how they're winning the ball at the stop plays. They are just smashing Richmond over this last 6 minutes, and in doing so, they've kicked the 4 goals. Great finish by Fiora. That's going to be his great strength for St Kilda. He's got a little bit of toe, but he's just a brilliant finisher. Magnificent kick. And now it's danger time for St Kilda. They just have to stabilise. Don't have to necessarily kick goals, but they have to stabilise this match through to quarter time.
Yeah, they were teammates last year, Chaffing and Fiora. Fiora part of a 3-way trade with the Dockers. Heath Black going from St Kilda to Fremantle, Simmons from Fremantle to Richmond, and Fiora winding up at Moorabbin as Dal Santo. Look at the class, the poise, the balance. Harvey, Raphael Clark, Dal Santo again. Loose man Peckett on the wing. This is just monotonous now. Coming in waves. Peckett long, charging out. Ackland. Kellaway in front. Good mark.
Great grab from Kellaway. He's playing on a shorter player in Guerra.
Simmons has been moved back now to centre-half forward, so they've realised that he can't play that sweeping role.
I think they've realised they can't play one short.
Hyde, Brown, pressure. Tigers constantly under the hammer.
He'll get this, Simmons.
Tivendale long to him. He's got it. Good call. And he'll have a kick if he so chooses from about 52.
They look a lot better side when he's at centre-half forward rather than trying to play that sweeping role down there. He looked lost. He didn't know how or where to go to get the ball, but certainly looks a lot more comfortable playing across half forward.
Kicked one against his old club last week. Team needs a steadier here.
He needed something to kick-start his career at Richmond. He was struggling for the first 3 weeks, and against his old club, Freo, he produced his best performance. This one would really help his night.
Kicked 35 goals for the Dockers last year. from just outside the 50. No worries with the distance. The accuracy askew behind the result. And we'll check the kick-in structure for the Saints. The Tigers indicating they're going with a zone. Jones can go short and wide. The Tigers happy to concede that. Jones doesn't want to kick to a contest. And just spears the pass out, and Kazitsky slipping but somehow hanging on to it. And we know he's had back problems in the past. Would have been an anxious moment. Jones to the outer wing. Hall and Hamill going to be a good job. Oh boy, Callaway, you can't do that. Free advantage, play on. Hayes away, long ball to the top of the square. Ackland caught behind. Jackson knocking it down. Milne does this better than anyone. Oh, he handballed it. Peckett's going to kick the goal.
Well done, Milne.
He's got it. Well, he needed convincing. He did not sound like a man that was certain the ball had gone over these elongated posts. A goal is paid to Peckett. Here's a look at the first incident as Callaway upends Aaron Hamill. There's a statement. Free kick advantage, play on.
I think the goal umpire was certain, Clinton. I don't think the field umpire was overly certain that it went the right side of the goalpost, and that's why he wanted to clarify it.
The umpire must be sitting up here with me because I thought it was a point straight over the top of the post also.
Do the posts need to be taller?
They might have to.
Let's just have them stuck up to the roof. Well, we can't even see that. End result is the Saints enjoy a 22-point lead, having kicked 5 goals in 11 minutes. Code red for the Tigers. They're a DEFCON 3.
I think we should also just acknowledge the handball from Stephen Milne. He started fantastically well, took the mark, kicked a goal, and he also laid it off when it was there to give. Hasn't always been his strength, but he's started well.
Tigers have still enjoyed more of the ball, 8 more possessions. Getting belted on the scoreboard as it's near the boundary line and over for a throw in. Wayne Schwass, boundary side, your impressions?
Well, they've settled extremely well. I just think in the middle of the ground, though, the Tiger players are reactionary. They're waiting for the St Kilda players to make the move, get possession, which is a very difficult thing to stop.
Chaffee trying to upset Nick Del Santo physically.
Hayes, Maguire, Harvey. Don't know whether these Saints can be intimidated, particularly this man. Well, he might end up in a grass burn after that. And Hayes and Jackson and Hamill again. There's plenty of feeling here. Remember last year with Laker and Johnson's incident.
Getting some tough jobs, Hall, isn't he?
Yeah.
Pavlich last week. They've given him Hamill this week. None tougher than Hamill.
And he was brilliant last week on Matthew Pavlich. Aaron Hamill, the man against him, fiery customer.
Well, they've got 3 loose players now in defence. The Tigers, Callaway, Simmons and Hyde.
Probably a little unlucky there, Aaron Hamill, not to get one for a high hit from Hall.
He was appealing for it, wasn't he? Shepherding gives Stafford and Brown a chance to wax it. Brown will take the free. Now, sprinting forward from the defensive post was Simmons. Brown choosing to go wide for Jackson, elects to play on. Bowden on the non-preferred, pops it over the head of Richardson, and he's hit Hodgson's arms.
Haven't had the free flow of the movement of the ball into the forward line as yet. Richmond being retarded by a very, very switched on St Kilda midfield.
Yeah, I think that's the word, isn't it? Switched on. They have been coming to play. Big occasion. They've been used to them over the last couple of years. The Tigers have been bereft of big games. They're in one right now as Fisher pops it in front of Harvey. It'll sit kindly for him. Remarkable that he's even playing this week towards Gehrig. Gasper has started well. No free. Harvey to Gehrig. Just waiting back. Question of accuracy. The G-train. Missing.
He gets quite a lot of those, Fraser Gehrig. He's in a contest and then he works back towards goal. Not that he worked too hard then. He basically stopped. It's good pressure by St Kilda teammates to actually get the ball to him.
Terry Wallace shuffling already. Well away, shorts it. Slip. But Simmons recovers in time.
No, closer, Steve.
A momentary lull from the frenetic action of the opening 20 minutes. Simmons is now off. Stafford.
Smart. Right out, Luke. Thanks you. Play on now.
To the centre corridor, Newman. Oh, Hamill. Desperate, wasn't he? Now Aussie Jones slipped, put himself under pressure, gets barreled, holds it in. Will he be pinged? Yes.
Now Fraser Garrick has chased Callaway all the way down the ground and he is absolutely knackered. I think he'll walk back to full forward.
Bowden out wide, Richo with 2 to beat. Spilled the beans. Gets it again though. Wheels onto the right. You think he's too far out. Drives to the goal square. No ball. Not quite.
Close.
And Del Santo and Cracker now to contest. Oh, Cracker, wonderful pickup. Noble finds an opening. Hooks it to Chaffee. That was clever. Chaffee can't hang on. Cracker's still dangerous. Oh, desperate St.Kilda defence. And Maguire decides discretion, the better part of Valor there. Oh, that was some good action.
Well, it was good interchange for the big men. They just could not find the mark close enough to goal.
And now you have to watch the Saints on the rebound. The acting captain ball to Kazitsky. Has the height advantage on Hyde. Had his name all over it. Chips it forward. Here's Baker. Plays on. Hayes. Dangerous. Destructive. 6 in a row for the Saints.
Del Santo, Harvey, Hayes have all started the game terrifically well. We said that this game would be won through the midfield, Richmond forwards being on fire, but unfortunately the ball just hasn't come down there with any fluency at this stage, and it's all St Kilda.
Yeah, they just look in a different league, don't they, through the middle of the ground. Andrew Thompson coming on also for his first run. And you're right, Wayne, about the G-Train. I was having a look at him just going back. He looked more like the Puffing Billy than the G-Train. He was really doing it tough.
Oh, who's feeding him those lines? Like you and Jason on Saturday Central, Wayne. Let's laugh a minute.
Yes.
28 points, St Kilda's lead. Tuck, Noble, Hyde. Deep. Can they get a mark up forward? Brown waiting down for the quick reply. No histrionic celebrations for the Tigers. For the time being, put the finger in the dike and get one back.
Well, I think that just about proves the whole midfield issue. Wayne Swass in the boundary line, if they can get the ball into this forward line quickly enough and often enough, I think they've got the forward structure to kick a winning score, but the evidence today suggests it's not going to happen.
Couldn't agree anymore, Jared. What that does is the quick kick from Chris Hyde gives Matthew Richardson and the other tall guys a bit of an opportunity without numbers from St Kilda getting back, flooding the forward line for Richmond and then running the ball out. And as we saw there, it doesn't have to be the prettiest kick or a mark. Nathan Brown capitalises.
A scramble, and we'll have another bounce.
And that's exactly why Nathan Brown's a superstar. They need a goal. He's the one that stands up and kicks it.
12 for the year now for the 27-year-old. Yeah, plenty of players. We might get another bounce here.
Relax out, relax.
Still loose man in defence for Richmond. Mark Graham at the moment.
It's not Simmons.
It's not Simmons.
Kazitsky winning it down. Here's Hyde again under pressure. Gone. Pickett with the tackle. Tivendale's caught by Pickett high.
Justin, relax on the tackle. Let it go now. Or it's 50.
Umpires well in control early. A volatile atmosphere under the closed roof. Waiting in the middle. Here's Chaffee. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the opening turn.
He's had a great start to the year, Chris Hyde. He really has run himself into the ground, and I'm not sure if he starts slowly, but he looks a bit ragged at the present time, and he's on Luke Ball.
And this is St Kilda's loose player, Raphael Clark.
And he's a good user of the ball. Saints for the last 9 hitouts as Del Santo on the outer wing sweeps the hand pass inside for Xavier Clark. with the red and white boots, driving it long. Gehrig in the danger zone for the Tigers. Milne waiting down. Goal square unguarded. Behind.
Very much like the game last night, one where the Crows had plenty of free ball coming into their forward line. Because I think the Bulldogs elected to zone back too early, as soon as they lost the ball, they charged back. So they then had to stop the ball on the last 30 metres rather than still maintaining some pressure through the middle of the ground, trying to force an error there.
Gee, risky kick in by Newman. Might cough up possession. Kazitsky bouncing one. Gehrig. Newman's second effort good. And the third one good as well. But Tivendale is still under pressure. Chaffee, no mark, ball, emerges, has been dacked, with his backside showing, couldn't kick the goal. That would have been something. A strip show as well as a goal.
Definitely hard to do, kick the ball when your pants are down.
I'll take your word for it. Tuck's got it on half back. Long to the wing. No ball, strong hands.
Well, the big men, Richmond, have to dominate this match because at the moment at ground level, they just don't look capable of coping with the physical pressure of St Kilda.
Good kick, Simmons, to the first-year player, Delidio.
Stafford one out.
Goes wider than that, Brown and Baker. Brown kept his feet. The bounce eludes him. Baker desperate, terrific. Trapped it in long enough for Jones to free up. He finds Guerra. He gives it to Hayes. Look out though, you're about to be collared.
Good tackle.
Kellaway it was, with the body on. And now gets it back. Is dumped by Del Santo. Tackling is ferocious. Free kick St Kilda, Del Santo. Advantage paid. Clever there, St Kilda. A late advantage call. Lenny Hayes off to the races. Feeding Hamill. Tivendale closing. Hamill kicking and going.
Just pressure through the middle. Too tough.
A 7-goal opening term from the Saints with time remaining.
Well, Lenny Hayes is entitled to give him that handball. I'm not sure who it was, but whoever gave him that handball, quite entitled to give him a spray.
Hospital?
It's a bit of a hospital handball. You don't like to get them.
Just going back to that where the ball was turned over, it was a kick to Nathan Brown on the lead. They've got three tall options down there and they elected to kick it to a contest with their smallest bloke who's a world-class crummer. Didn't make sense to me.
Saints with 7 goals, 7 goal kickers, none of whom are Fraser Gehrig. Noble winning it down for Hyde. Hurrying it forward, old Jones, clever. He was strong with the upper body, just knocked it to Harvey. Good tackle by Jackson. Frees up Campbell, the former skipper. Goes for it. Has it got the carry? No. Excellent defensive work down back by Fisher.
Come back a couple, mate. Yeah, cheers. Don't go
Well,
close.
they keep coming, the Tigers.
And Swatter on the boundary line. The Saints are giving that interchange rotation a nice old spin.
Yeah, it's not a bad luxury to have though, Jerry, because as Wayne brought up early in the call, one player comes off and a quality player replaces that one.
Hodgson. Now Goddard. Down the centre corridor on a long lead, Hamill. Good spoil by Hall. Kellaway, quick hands. Brown needs to sidestep. And gee, sells Hull into trouble. Jackson dumped by Hamill. Harvey putting pressure on. Oh, it's good stuff.
The Brown handball was under pressure, it went astray. The Kellaway handball was under pressure, didn't hit the mark, put more pressure on Brown, who had to jump in the air to take it. They are breaking this game apart, the Saints, just by their ground level pressure on Richmond. They're turning the ball over too often.
More of that pressure unfolding. Free kick going St Kilda's way. Hamill to win it.
Back here. Took him right out.
Inside of 2 minutes remaining in the first.
Play on.
And Hamill's going to drift it wide, give Gehrig the chance. Kellaway again, he's filled the gap several times. We so often talk about Andrew and formerly his brother Duncan and the carriage from those two players. The former All-Australian Kellaway goes for Hall at centre half back. Oh, good vision. Loose man Chaffee now needs to find a target here. 60 out to the goal square he goes. Stafford had his name all over it. It was TT. It was Terry's triangle.
Well, you saw Richo, who was in the goal square. He led out wide. Stafford was at the top, and he went backwards towards the goal square. It worked well.
It was fantastic play by Chaffee. He's playing on the gun midfielders of St Kilda, Del Santo and a few others. I think they're rotating there, but I think he is on Del Santo. And able, when they're winning the ball, Richmond, he run off, got the ball, and then delivered. Fantastic play.
You're absolutely right, Wayne. I watched Mark Chaffee there. As soon as Callaway took the mark, he took a risk, and I think the Tigers need to take a few more of those. He took a risk, bolted away from his opponent in Del Santo, got himself into some space and set up the goal, potentially for Greg Stafford.
Former Swan, Greg Stafford, fourth year at Punt Road, close to the man on the mark that he probably needed to be, but it doesn't matter. Pops it into the second tier for his second. And the Tigers are back within 22 points in the final minute of the opening term.
Well, I reckon in any other era you would have seen the Chaffee kick go to Richo, who is currently leading wide to the boundary line. He favours his left foot, straightens him up, and there's Stafford coming down from 40 metres out in front of goal, taking the space, and it was a good kick because it favoured the bloke at the back, which was Greg Stafford.
More importantly, to have the confidence to go to the top of the square and know your key forward's going to give you a contest.
Easier to kick them from there than 40 metres out on the acute. Needed that one, just holding on now, the Tigers.
And they've got 50 seconds to try and pinch another. Certainly would not want to concede one, though. And Del Santo gives Goddard and the Saints a chance. Gehrig the target again. Gasper wearing him well. Kellaway about to be under siege from Hamill. Hamill does brilliantly. Gehrig caught. Milne lurking. Dangerous. Oh my, he is good, isn't he? Milne's got his second. Saints have 8 for the opening term.
Just getting sliced open at the centre bounce. It's just coming out way too easy, and Terry Wallace will be filthy on them conceding that goal. He wouldn't have minded going in 4 down, but to concede the momentum they build up with the Greg Stafford goal and the confidence with a couple of lame efforts in the forward, in the defensive half. Look at the tackles that he has broken through there.
You called him the Puffing Billy before. He was the G-train then.
Yeah, he was supercharged then. He just needed to rest, old Puffing.
In their last 3 quarters now, St Kilda have kicked 22 goals. I think back in town is the phrase most applicable. Still have time here, one way or the other. Free kick going St Kilda's way. Advantage. No, he's going to bring it back now.
Got him high in the face, Trent.
17 seconds, still time. Voss waiting for it on the wing. Down to 10 seconds. This will be the important ball. Can he get it to goal scoring range and a mark? Not aware of the time, obviously. And that will run down for quarter time. The Saints 8-2, the Tigers 3-4.
Well, move the ball quicker into that 4-line setup.
Saints to the right, leading by 28 points. Kazitsky rather going with Noble. Coghlan winning it down for Tivendale. Here's Bowden finding an opening.
It's a better option.
Going long, giving Simmons a chance. Stafford coming out as well. Baker was very quick. Cracker won't let him go. Baker doesn't concede, however. Ball to be won at midfield. Tuck, possession number 9. Gives Richo a chance. Stafford's got it in front. No, misread it. At ground level, he pinches it. Can the big man kick a third? Will need a kind bounce. Doesn't get it.
But we've seen 2 entries into their forward 50 with the midfielders just getting it around the circle and then just putting it in there, backing their tall blokes. That's their strength, not trying to over-possess the ball through the middle.
You can see a real change from the start of this quarter, can't you? They've banged it in there long straight away, and what they've got to do now is they'll get a contest from their big guys. They need numbers at the fall of the ball.
Rav Clark, good vision, spots his brother. Kazitsky riding shotgun. Xavier can go here. And still go. Drives to Gehrig. At the back. No, he put the whistle to the lips. Didn't go through with the decision. Might not matter. Del Santo creative. Just missing.
Clear.
Now, should that have been a free kick? I think it should have been when you look at a few others that get paid for pulling of the arm.
Newman to bring it back into play.
Clinton, that's the 4th time the Saints have been able to transfer the ball from their defensive goal square up to the other end. They've resulted in 2 goals, 2 behinds. Tigers need to tighten up there.
Looked like a definite free kick to me. Gasper looked almost like he was train surfing.
Get off surfing, Jared.
Play on, no 15. Bowden's gone.
It's good pressure again.
And the finish, ball with a goal. Their tackling has been terrific. It's resulting in turnovers, it's resulting in goals, and Luke Ball, the acting captain, joins the party.
Well, you just can't make these critical errors against a side that's so full of class. Just overuse of the footy once again, nowhere to give, rather than just going it long, and they've been mowed down. That's a couple of times now. Richmond have been chopped down from behind across their half-back line. Luke Ball hasn't had an easier shot at goal than that this year.
Credit to Milne there. We know he's an opportunist. He kicks goals, but to put forward line pressure on like that is what all coaches want their forwards to do, and he did it exceptionally well then.
Margin at a dangerous 34 points now. Kazitsky comfortably for ball. Hayes knocking it for Jones. Oh, Kazitsky's found space. Could run in and kick a goal just about. Has to wait for it. Harvey running with him. He ran too far.
Heard you, Clinton. It's actually difficult to imagine Rewald fitting into this team. I mean, they just look so potent at the present time with Hamill, Kazitsky, and Gehrig, obviously.
Tigers bringing it out of half-back, but again, they're overusing it too much, putting themselves under pressure. St Kilda jumpers everywhere. Worth Clark working it via Hudgton to his brother. Long down the middle. Crashing packs. Kellaway with the footy. Long to centre half forward. Richardson pushed down by Maguire. Fairly, said the umpire. Play on the call. No blood, no free. Here's Hyde emerging. Saints with loose men back. Stafford will have to pluck this. Richo a chance. Caught. Slips. Brown. Tight angle. A very unlikely goal from there. And now watch the Saints on the counter punch. Fisher for Peckett. Harvey in front of Del Santo with Chaffee.
She's a good player.
Nearly, but not quite. Campbell for Bowden. To a 1-on-2. Richardson with a couple to beat. Boundary line, a good result for the Tigers.
Fantastic effort there by Richo. What I liked about Richmond before is as they come into the forward line, there were numbers back for St Kilda, but they still went to the contest. Stafford gave them one, and Richardson nearly pinched a goal. Good sign.
Guys, don't block off the ball.
49,163 in at the moment. The Dome sold out on Anzac Eve as Hyde gathers too far out to score. Bangs it to the hot spot, gives Richo a chance again, but Maguire in front. Good hands. Richo looking a little propping.
Well, Maguire hasn't got a man at the moment because Simmons is just floating back.
And currently the Saints winning on that score. Fisher.
Might have hurt his knee, Richardson.
He's still with the trainer. Towards half forward, Gehrig had to go to punch. Gasper's done well. Milne tied up. Kellaway prominent. Tivendale for Hyde. Carrying the football, unsure. Campbell. Simmons, the Tigers loose man. Coughlin short. 60 out. Stafford will get this one. Oh, Maguire again with a specky. Specky Maguire. Gary can send me a royalty.
It's a great mark from Maguire. He's just free. Hasn't got a man to pick up, and he's just plucking them with ease.
Goddard to Peckett.
Hold on, Dustin! Hold on!
Good call.
Now Goddard at centre half back.
They've actually created 5 opportunities to score goals, Richmond, and haven't been able to get one through.
They're still under pressure here, the Saints. Maguire's been good. Oh, risky kick. Chaffee steals it. Now, what will he do here? Richo and Crackers short, Stafford long.
Well, as he looks up, there's 2 loose St Kilda players in front of Stafford.
Yep.
And Richardson still looks proppy, so he makes a lead now.
And he'll get it. His first mark.
Well, he kicked one from about this distance last week. Was it 2 weeks ago?
We've had the Tigers on Fox Footy Sunday, I think, all season.
It was 2 weeks ago. But as you said, he looked a little bit proppy. And at the moment, it's St.Kilda that have got the capacity to drop a few players back, really crowding Greg Stafford.
All of a sudden, exactly right. Stafford's kicked the first couple of goals for Richmond. Now they're crowding Stafford. Leave Richo alone. He bobs up, takes a mark.
Can he kick it 55? Can he kick 55 straight? The answer is no. 2 behinds this term for the Tigers by their key men, Stafford and Richardson. And the Saints' lead is 33 points. Now, they've been happy to concede the short one, the Tigers, and the Saints have used it often. Jones, though, going long. Oh, look at that. Brilliant to Maguire. Of the White Boot Brigade. Down the line, Goddard's athletic. Wrestling with Bowden there. Here's Kazitsky. Fidel Santo takes it out.
And I don't think Mike Sheehan actually had Aussie Jones in his best kick in the competition. Thought he was a bit stiff there, Aussie.
Yeah, he published his best field kicks in the competition and best shots at goal in the Herald Sun during the week. And had a couple of people raise an eyebrow, including yourself, Wayne.
Yes, I would have thought Aussie would have been in there.
Maguire. Long to Mill. Newman, good spoil. Tigers have been fine down here. Now, can Tivendale set something up? Running hard through the midfield. 3 bounces. Going long. Stafford the target. 2 to beat. The big man. Didn't hang on.
It all but.
Good tackle. Coghlan dumps Baker a bounce.
Well, they're playing much better footy here, Richmond. Much better footy. Just have not been able to pluck one of these close enough to goal. Stafford's had 3 or 4 near chances. Been crowded out on most. Got to have some support at ground level, though.
And the beauty of that, Raphael will think next time about coming back in front of him.
Kellaway's been good.
You almost take it as a personal insult if somebody stands in the path of a forward, and you believe that if they do, they are fair game.
If they do, you have to attack the ball like that and make him think twice next time.
Tigers attacking side of the wing as Simmons. That's always an element of risk. Got pushed for his trouble by Baker as well. Quick hands. Richo. Got it. Well, he's had a sighter. He's closer. He should go back and have a shot. And his teammates tell him that he has had the sighter. He's closer. He doesn't have to kick it as far.
Right out, guys. Thanks, Wayne.
Just to expand on that a little bit, when they send a guy back as a key forward, I think often your first thoughts are you start swearing at the coach. What are you doing about letting this guy sit back in front of me? And then you get over it.
Richo's kick hits the post. He's kicked 3 behinds this evening. The Tigers are having their chances in this second quarter. Jones long down the middle. Maguire, you saw earlier, he's the man running hot. 7 possessions now in the last 11 minutes. This one down the middle, but Graham floats in and takes a good mark, his first tonight.
Stabilise the Tigers, just got to get a goal.
Yeah, they do. They are peppering, and they will do so again. Chappie can run here. Closes to 65, to 60. Kicks to the hot spot. Can they get a mark this time? No. Maguire in a purple patch. And look at that. Good poise. Finds Fiora. Now, Delidio is quick and he's closing fast. Fiora finds Peckett. He's off. He goes to Goddard.
Back a metre, thanks.
Awaiting the lead. Loose man Fiora kept on running. Got it. Now, he is a very good kick, but you fancy he'd be 2 metres too far
Right on the
out.
line, thanks.
Well, you have to give him credit there. He ran from basically half back to the 50-metre line. It could have been used with a handball. He kept leading, and eventually got it. Great work rate.
And right now the Tigers just looking a little bit one-dimensional with the long bomb to Greg Stafford. And I think that gets back to the class of your midfielder bringing it in, being able to determine whether or not it's a viable option to go long or whether or not they're just too many numbers back and you have to find somebody short.
Well, there's only one man holding them up, and that's Maguire. Do you send a Richmond player down to play on Maguire as another forward?
Get him out of there.
Fiora, we mentioned he's a good kick. Has it got the carry, though? Yes! Just got there! His second, and an impressive goal. Pretty much coming against the flow, and it's eased that margin out to 38 points. You're pointing Wayne.
Yeah, it looks like, is it Tuck? Actually gone into the forward line for Richmond. My eyesight's going as I get older, Clinton.
Because, of course, you are so old now. Fiora, the number 3 pick from the Tigers back in the draft of 99, as you see Simmons taking a break.
It's Chris Hyde, Wayne.
Coughlin. Mind you, he needed a record, Jared, when he was playing to ask, who's this bloke playing on me? Campbell goes short, good kick, and there is Tuck.
It is Tuck, Jared. And as I was saying before, they had to send someone down there to play on Maguire. Maguire's on Tuck, and here we see Tuck having a shot at goal.
Just borrow your record, you're right, it is Tuck.
Well, as I said, your eyesight goes as you get older.
You're right.
Right out, don't go through. Right out.
Dennis Pagan used to say the first place you go blind is in the eyes.
Right there. Thanks, Matt.
Oh, dear. Shane Tuck, good numbers.
We never found it funny either.
2 goals this season, 3 for his career.
Kick.
And he's got number 4, and that's impressive.
Well, as we were saying, as soon as you make a guy be accountable in the forward line, it just makes the structure work so much better. And now Maguire's got a man to play on.
Well, they maybe
won't give them drive.
They had to find the right player. He was getting off Simmons too often. Maybe Tuck's just got greater mobility to be able to go with Maguire. Good move from Wayne Carey.
I think importantly, though, for the Tigers going forward, boys, is that when Shane Tuck does present himself, they honour the lead, because that then forces Matt Maguire to be a lot more accountable rather than zoning off and setting up his St.Kilda side.
Exactly right, Wayne.
Halfway through quarter number 2, and the Saints, the lead is 32 points. The bodies collide.
It's been a great addition to the St Kilda side is Kane Acklands. They plucked him for basically nothing, and he's dominated the ruck in their first 4 or 5 matches.
Tigers did well to win out there, but Tivendale's kick won't reach the safety of the boundary line. Baker, wonderful ball for Paul.
Let him go, Greg. Let him go. Play on.
Now Aussie Jones. He usually creates something, gives it to space for Gehrig. Oh, that's a brilliant pass.
Nemo to Mike Sheehan, not a bad left foot kick to Fraser on the lead.
Didn't make his top 10.
No. But great to see a guy like, now I've forgotten his name, Aussie, get onto his left foot and bring it back towards the centre. Not go directly towards goal, bring it to the what coaches like to call the fat side. But if that gets spoiled, it goes up the middle. But great kick.
And Gehrig should go. He's first. Go Saints indeed.
Probably one of the only times that he's got away from Gaspar.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job, Darren, in his 200th game, but when you get disposal and delivery like this from one of the classier kicks in the competition, it's pretty hard to beat, no matter who you are.
And the G-Train sealing the deal for his 12th goal of the season. Remembering he finished with 103 last year.
That's right, I'm
at the end of the finals. Won the Coleman by 1 from Matthew Lloyd. And the Coleman medal race this year well and truly up for grabs. Baker takes them on, is brought down. No prior opportunity, a bounce.
Great stuff, guys. What are you after?
Well, they've just got to find some energy here, Richmond. They look up at the scoreboard and it's a horrible sight, but they've got a lot of new supporters here tonight. They want to see a competitive match. They don't want to see a thumping.
As it was in their previous big game this season, the Geelong match built up heavily in round 1, attracted a good crowd, and they failed. Fiora's kick intercepted by Noble. Tuck delivering to Campbell. He's got space to run on here. Richardson leading to the pocket. Now waits. And Campbell giving it to Brown. Well, he's a classy kick, as we know. Can he carry the journey from here?
I think this is probably beyond his capabilities.
Back in the goal square, Stafford and Richardson await.
Richo will end up being the man. Richo knows he'll honour the lead if he can find some space.
Well, the forward pocket is being left spare. Brown's going to just pop it to the hot spot. Stafford and Richardson, Stafford. Too easy.
Well, it's really interesting just watching the dynamic down there. They are so concerned about Richo that Greg Stafford occasionally just gets that half a metre away. They all thought with Brown that Richo, like I did, would be the man.
Jared, do you think we're actually seeing a turn? We talked about, sharing the ball, chipping it around. We saw last night Luke Darcy kick 6 goals, take some strong marks, and already today Stafford taking 3 marks in close proximity to the goal and kicking 3 goals.
Long bombs to the forward line. Work for Snake Baker. Can work for anybody if you've got the personnel there that can mark the ball. So if they get another one here, the Tigers, then all of a sudden they'll start to believe in themselves again. And it's that energy that they obviously lost in round 1 against Geelong. They can't afford to just fall right away here. They've just got to show their supporters that the last 3 weeks count for something. And I'm sure a lot of Richmond supporters wouldn't have come here thinking that they are going to beat St Kilda. They would have come along thinking, let's just see how far we've improved. How much closer to these top sides are we?
12 shots to 14. Terry Wallace will tell them that, I'm sure.
Inside 50s, 22 to 21. Overall possessions, 131 to 120. The numbers on that front slated the Tigers' way, but it's the Saints still in control on the scoreboard, getting the centre clearance. Ball deep. Plenty of Tigers back there. Joel Bowden the mark. Goes short. Misses Rains.
It's a magnificent centre clearance from St Kilda. Just pure ruck work. It was artistry from Ackland. Got it to Harvey.
Gee, that has to be a free, and is.
One thing about Max, if he's going to give away a free, he makes sure he follows through.
That's right.
Get up very gingerly there, Richard.
Max, stay on it.
Hayes, as you see, the bottom of the screen, replacing Thompson as Richardson sends it inside 50. It was clever in the end, Noble, just knocking it down. Jones under pressure, got it on. Peckett about to be collared.
Got him, all right.
And collared indeed by Stafford. He made him earn it. Gehrig now on half back.
They've pushed Aaron Hamill into the goal square, 1 out.
Take it now,
Fraser's thinking, hang on, I've got 45 seconds usually, but now I'm on the back line. What's this hurry up business? Didn't that become a talking point during the week? Guerra. Fiora, he's a great kick on the run. If he doesn't pass it, you're back into drill it. He decides to pass, and Hamill, now just a question of accuracy.
They've been caught out about 3 times already tonight, St Kilda, where there's a pack formed and you saw Noble belt the ball forward. Well, they always have one bloke just lurking back towards the goal into space. That time it was Fiora. He ends up getting the ball on the transfer. He's free. No one's going with him. Here's Guerra, finds him. He's just pushed out the back. Good football. People would call it cheating. It's not cheating. That is just smart football. And sets up a goal.
His second. Saints answer, lead 38 points. We're into time on of the second term.
And good to see, Wayne, good to see Aaron Hamill actually getting some easy ball. We know that he always gets a contested ball. He's buffeted each week, but to get some easy ball is fantastic.
Let's go back to Greg Stafford saying hello to Justin Peckett, making him earn it. Wayne Schwartz.
I just think, Jared, you talk about the St Kilda having an outrider. They have the luxury of so many ball winners in their midfield brigade.
Yep.
They don't have to have every single player chasing the ball. They know if they have an even spread of numbers, eventually someone will attract the ball and dish that off to a ball user themselves.
It's the classic Rodney Eade theory. Just drop one out of a congestion, push him forward to make him dangerous.
Ball, head down, tail up, just bullocking through. Hayes to Milne. Newman's worn him well this term. Coughlin, quick hands for Tuck. Ray Hall got a good shepherd from Noble. Goes long, Richardson over his head. Saints back there, Maguire. Luke Ball covering plenty of territory. Maguire, St Kilda's chief ball winner with a dozen touches. Harvey to Milne. Chip kick, Hamill. Ball makes him earn it. Don't give away 50, Ray.
That free kick that Steve Milne gave away against the Kangaroos was the best thing that's happened to him, because he seems to have been playing just a straighter brand of football. If the possession's on, go for it. There's a man that you can beat, maybe take him on, but if the lead's there, honour it. And he's been impressive tonight in his role.
Now, for a left footer here, you'd normally say aim at the left-hand post and it'd swing back. But
now Maguire's got the mark inside the field of play. What a quarter Matt Maguire is having.
It's all over the ground, isn't he? He's working back and forward.
Kicked a goal in the first term, which obviously excited him. And now he's thinking, well, look, I've seen Milne do this at training. He sort of runs to the right, doesn't he? Like this, and then snaps and touched. I'm not going to be there.
Stay down back, Matty.
Wayne, can you explain to me the issue with this goalpost in a stadium that doesn't have any wind?
There's no wind, but there are theories. The ball will swing certain ways at goal. You go to your local country oval, and they say that there's a magnet. There's a magnet to that side, and it'll always swing. And I think this ground definitely has that.
Colo should charge more if there's a magnet here.
Tivendale.
Country ovals have got wind.
They've got wind, mate. I'll fill you in a little bit more when I get a chance.
Hodgson. Now, Ref Clark told to play on.
Yours now.
Goes back to Fisher.
Might be your article in the Herald Sun next week, Jared, about
Work on it.
the gold magnets.
Guerra has been an improvement in this side. He was almost made by Grant Thomas to earn his spot back in the side again. He was dropped a couple of times last year. He's dropped, wasn't part of the side early this season, but he came back last week, laid the big tackle early in the piece to put Cameron Bruce out of action for 6 weeks. Doesn't get a lot of the footy, but generally has an impact.
Del Santo met solidly by Cracker. Now Tigers can go here. Pettifer. Jackson. Rains.
That's a try.
Creative at least. High deep. Stafford and Richardson. Stafford. Oh, Fisher did well. Brown. Maguire under the pump. Kaczynski likewise. Well, that was creative as well as he flicks it out to Peckett. Good defence, St Kilda.
They've become very good at that, players now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Actually getting the ball out, almost rugby union-like.
And good umpiring on that occasion as well, as Kaczynski goes to the wing. Kellaway the spoil and gets it back from Bowden. Advantage play on. The Tigers have got the overlap. In fact, not only that, Tivendale could go all the way from 55, unguarded goal square. Tell you what, they have had chances this quarter. They've kicked 2 goals for, but they've had a number of marks which have been close to goal but haven't been taken. It should be closer than the 38 points it is.
Yeah, it was a pretty low percentage shot from Greg Tivendale. He had options to kick it to leading forwards. It's rare you kick a drop punt from 60.
Jones, risky to Fiora. That's why Campbell can't mark. Oh, wonderful smother by Baker.
One of the unsung heroes of the St Kilda side, Baker. He does his job each week.
Straight up here, guys. Don't hold off the ball. Don't lock arms.
Just received a phone call on the bat phone here from one irate viewer by the name of Mike Sheehan. Get to what he had to say in a moment. On the boundary throw in, here's Hayes. Feeding the handball to Goddard. You're stirring people up, Wayne Carey. Harvey away for Lenny Hayes. Feeding it back. Heckett to the centre corridor. Aussie Jones, who Mike Sheehan had number 7 best field kickers.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah. What, you just read the headline. You just looked at the picture, read the headline, and now you bagged poor Mike.
I didn't bag him.
Oh, you
I
bagged
said that
him.
he should have had Aussie in there, and he has. Good on you, Mike.
You called him wrong. You had a go at him. Mike's just trying to eke out a living and existence, and he doesn't need that way.
I'll tell you one mistake he has made. He should be higher than 7, Mike.
Tigers on the rebound with 90 seconds to go. Delidio for Campbell. Good mark. Need a late goal. A spark. Nearly for Brown, not quite. Baker wearing him well, bringing him down. Fairly, said the umpire. Aussie Jones. It'd really sting the Tigers if the Saints get one going the other way. Del Santo for Gehrig. Got it, one-handed.
And that half chance to Nathan Brown summed up their quarter. They've had so many of those opportunities, just haven't been able to stick them, that they will go in at half-time staring at a pretty ordinary scoreboard.
Now let's talk about this magnet. Fraser, as a left footer, Fraser would normally kick this at the left-hand goal post. Natural left footer would have left to right swing.
Yep.
I believe he has to hit it the right one. It'll come back the other way, as we see there. Exactly what I said a left footer should do, and that's what he did.
The new Professor Sunder Miller in the Fox Footy Sunday broadcast booth. Why is it so? Gehrig's kicked the Saints 13th. He's got his second for the quarter. 13-4 to 5-8.
I would argue, Wayne, and I wouldn't argue with you normally, but I would argue that it is more to do with the way he drops the ball on his boot rather than any magnet.
Yeah, probably.
We saw him swing it right to left last time. That time it was left to right. So unless Colo's moving those magnets around.
But a left footer should go from left to right if he drops the ball correctly.
Yeah.
Schwatter, you're a left footer.
He's nonplussed by this argument. Well said, Wayne. Silence golden. Half a minute remaining before half-time. And the Saints on the march. Raf Clark for Guerra. Oh, perfect kick for Harvey. Here they go. Aussie Jones with time. 15 seconds. Aussie's going to dance, get on the right, and miss badly to the near side.
Maybe you're right there, Mike, with the number 7. After that shot at goal.
83 playing 38 in the shadows of half-time.
So, Wayne, how do you assess Richmond's half, and how do you assess where they're at this year, given that we've seen them 5 times and they're going in some 7 goals, the best part of 7 goals down?
Look, all you can do is win, and they've done that the last 3 weeks. And I think today they've been competitive, but last night really launch himself at it, and then other times try to shepherd the ball and give away a couple of free kicks.
Tigers have got 45 points to make up. They're going to the right of screen. It's an awkward bounce for Noble. Had to wait there with Kazitsky closing. Got it down for Delidio. He works with Tivendale. Noble going deep. Simmons pushing Maguire into it. Stafford, quick hands. Bowden. Oh, that'd be a great start for the Tigers. It took 17 seconds.
It looks like they've made the move. Joel Bowden to go forward, which, look, I think is a great move. He's played a lot down back of late, sweeping across half back and you know, sometimes playing that loose player. So to go forward, I think he'd be pretty excited by this. Fantastic start for the Tigers.
Oh, it's good when you get a start like that. But the centre clearance, I think, the restrictive circle doesn't allow that crush. So if you do get a definitive tap, you can have players share the ball around and get a clean exit, and we're seeing so many less secondary bounces. It just seems to be a positive for the game.
Joel Bowden with his first goal for the season. Coughlin flinging it out for Tuck. High kick. That's awkward. Raf Clark sending it wide.
I reckon they need a lift out of Richo as well. He hasn't been able to kick the goals. He's won a bit of football, but I think they just need another gear out of him.
Good running. Tuck to Coughlin. Momentary pause. It was a whistle for Richmond. Yeah. Coughlin lost his flow and didn't kick well. Now Raphael Clark running his full measure. A bounce. Going along for Milne.
There's a duck whistle, that one. It really did upset the flow for Coughlin.
Just no need. Just wave the arm to signal you know it's a free and let everyone get on with it. As ball takes the mark inside 50.
Mark's here.
Talking about the key forwards of Richmond, as you did then, Jared, and saying that Richo's a little quiet. One thing that often can happen when you have three talls is, you know, they all can't play well on the same day. There's going to be a guy that plays well, and today it's Stafford's turn. He's kicked the 3 goals. Let's hope Richo can kick a few in the second half.
Luke Ball averaging 23 possessions a game this season coming in. This will be his 10th touch. The lead 39 and now 40. And we'll see how the Tigers fare from the kick back into play. They've only had 5 before this. And long down the middle, opens the door for Kosicki, can't hang on to it. Hamill working with Harvey. Hall, good tackle. Ball flicked out, Del Santo. Gee, just doesn't give up. And Milne's got space. The dangerous one. The creative one. What's he going to do? Feed Aussie Jones. He should drill it, and does. Saints answer to the opening Bowden goal and extend the lead to 46 points.
It was a great goal by Aussie Jones, but Milne was waiting for Big Fraser to lead at full forward, and he didn't want to lead Fraser. He just wanted to put up in a one-out contest at the top of the square, and Milne didn't want to kick it there, and Aussie saved him.
Well, whenever he starts waving the ball around, have a look at that ball. It's the telltale sign that he's actually looking for that balk, and he finally got his opponent Newman to commit enough to bring Aussie Jones into the play. And a good hug there from Aussie. And a goal assist to Stephen Milne, about his 3rd for the night.
Yep, he's had 4 handballs already in this match, Stephen Milne. For Milne, that's a lot. Noble. Now Coughlin. Centre clearance, the Tigers. What will they do with it? The #1 draft pick, Delidio. The Kellaway, high to the 50. Oh, gee, leaping early, Fiora. Charging through, Tuck put his body on the line. I like that. Hudgton getting it out. Del Santo. Oh, Stafford won't let him go. Holding the ball. Good tackle. Greg Stafford to line up his fourth.
Thanks, Nick.
What do you want me to do? Asked Nick Del Santo.
It's one of the questions that players ask when one arm's pinned. What the umpires want them to do if they've got the ball in one arm, the other arm's pinned, they actually want the ball to at least drop out. He is holding the ball, as you can see there, in with the other arm. It's hooked up under. He could have dropped it. Maybe he might have let that go, Jared.
Stafford kicks his 4th goal. And still the debate continues for Scott McLaren and Nick Del Santo. Are you happy with the call, Jared?
Well, it was a tough one. I mean, you can feel for Nick because he's won the ball. I don't think he had a lot of prior opportunity, but if you've got one hand free, I mean, you can drop it onto your boot. So I guess that would be Scott McLaren's answer. But of it all, I think there is no decision that an umpire loves paying more than that, that beautiful one where they can throw the arms wide.
And this is theatre tonight. 49,393 packed in, roof closed. Great setting for some football drama. The lead is 40 now for the Saints. Noble, can the Tigers string 2 goals in a row together?
Done pretty well in the centre clearances so far this quarter, the Tigers.
Here they go again. Delidio pops it up. Richardson in front. Was he held? No, Hudgton does well.
Well, look at the support players. The Saints had 3 players go to that pack. Richmond players just hanging back. They kick it in, they've got to follow the ball in.
Xavier Clark put the tackle on. Pettifer got it away. Hyde elects to go short. And the option was Simmons. The kick was short. Jones the clearance for Raphael Clark. Although the bounce might elude him. Bowden closing fast. Needs support. Hayes. Great tackle by Tuck.
The numbers against St.Kilda, more numbers at the contest. They win the ball.
Oh, has Clark run too far? No. Just gets the kick away up towards Gehrig. He's taken another one-hander. That's 2. Elects to play on quickly. Fiora running. Loose man is Voss. He should take it. He does.
Great transfer from St Kilda, but the fundamental difference is the extra players at the footy.
Target is Kosicki. And now a shot at goal from 45 out.
That is a fantastic kick from Voss. So often that kick across the face of goal to the fat side is the spot where there's space. And Kazicki run into it then, and fantastic to see Brett Voss have the confidence to go there, because often coaches don't like it a lot, because if it gets spoiled, it can go to the other end of the ground very quickly. But fantastic kick.
Kazicki back in the side after that hamstring injury. Close, missing to the near side. A let off for the Tigers.
Right hand now, boys.
14-7.
Got a couple of spares straight up the centre.
Play 7-8. Newman with the duties. Legs to go short.
Let him go, let him run, Aaron.
Do you like the long kick from kick-ins, Wayne, or just maintain possession?
I think the key to kick-ins is mixing it up. If you become predictable, very easy to stop.
Tivendale long to half forward. Good use of the body by Troy Simmons. Held Maguire underneath it. Doubles back, takes the mark.
Thanks, mate.
Eyes darting feverishly. He's too far out to score.
Darren Gasper, what a great run here.
And he just batters it down for Bowden. He handballs to Coughlin. Hayes wouldn't let him go. Baker, was he pushed? Yes.
It's just poor disposal by Richmond. They had the option there. Gasper had run the lines to create an opportunity. They're trying to wear Gehrig out, and yet the kick let them down.
And that's the difference, ultimately, between these two teams. Voss for Hamill. A good disposal makes it easier for him.
And put the stopwatch on and see how long it takes Fraser to get back to full forward, Jared.
He's chugging along.
Harvey wide. Fiora allowing it to bounce. Not kind to him. The recovery, sublime. Hayes gives Fiora another go. Toying with the Tigers for the time being. Fiora might go backwards to Xavier Clark. He does.
And this is what happens when players, I guess, follow the modern trend of corralling.
Hamill went down behind play after a knock with Mark Graham.
Corralling players just allows players to get an easy shot rather than pressing up and trying to tackle them.
Hamill's bounce back up, flies here, as does three Tigers, waiting down Aussie Jones. He says thank you, but misses.
Well, Aussie is used to getting goals for missing shots here at Telstra Dome. He's had a history of that.
You called the shepherd, Quinton Graham, on Hamill, and thought that could have been a free kick, definitely.
Tigers elect to chip again. Coughlin, well, going to come a cropper? No. But again, the disposal, the field disposal, letting them down. Forwards must be so frustrated. Raph Clark out wide. Sixth sense finds Xavier. Long ball inside the 50. Tigers loose man is Hall. He slipped into that. Stephen Milne slips out of danger. Unguarded goal square. Thank you. Got it. Oh, what a celebration. Milne's popped. He's got his third.
Well, that's what he's there for. We know that he's an opportunist, but he's there. Fraser makes a fantastic contest, 2-on-1. But Milne at the fall of the ball, and that's exactly where you want your small forwards.
It was a dangerous slip too, wasn't it, Ray Hall? That's great roving, front and centre, to use the modern cliche. But Stephen Milne was all over it. He's had a good 2 weeks.
He's up to 14 goals for the season. The target, Richo, with 16, the leader in the AFL.
Aussie Jones is looking pretty dangerous as well. He's currently on a wing as his starting position on Greg Tivendale, and he is pushing forward to crumb those ones forward.
He's up to 14 possessions. Hayes roving the Yacklin tip. Tivendale on the right. Down the line, Simmons again tried to shovel Maguire underneath it. Maguire not budging that time. Sends it for a boundary throw-in. The leading ball winners on the ground, headed by Shane Tuck with 20 touches.
Don't hold here, guys. Don't shepherd off the ball.
48 points in Kilda's lead. Their win last week, 47. The Tigers was 48. The Ruckman wrestle one another out of it. Pettifer with the bump on Peckett. Jones handball stolen by Coughlin. Met his teammate Tuck and will have a bounce.
Have you seen the Coghlan-Luke Ball battle, Wayne?
Oh, look, I think Coughlin's been... one thing Coghlan... Sorry, which Wayne was that, Cherub?
You.
Oh, sorry. Look, Coughlin's been... one thing Coghlan will do is give you a contest in there, but Luke Ball's a class act. I think they've both probably negated one another to some degree.
That was good umpiring. Called the free there and then paid the advantage, albeit a boundary throw, and will be the end result at ground level. Wayne Schwass, how are you seeing it?
Oh, it's a little bit of a flat spot at the moment, but again, we've got another example of what Jared mentioned. St Kilda with an outrider there. They just do not overcommit. They have an even spread of players around a contest.
A scrappy couple of minutes unfolding here. Tippendale brought down, got the handball out. Brown. Will he provide some class? Not there. Fiora runs into traffic. Sits up Hayes. He got it out quickly for Xavier Clark. Touch ball, Fraser. Touch ball, Fraser. Got it to Goddard. Can Milne get number 4? Oh, he lays it off for Clark. That was brilliant stuff, Stevie. And what is even better to see, he's equally as excited with Xavier Clark kicking the goal, his first of the season.
The great thing about that handball was he did not give it a second thought. I think normally he would normally have a look to see whether he could kick it himself, but not a second thought, then give it straight off. Great to see, Milne.
Yeah, it was reflex, wasn't it? Here's Xavier Clark pushing forward. Have a look at Stephen Milne. Great camera work, this.
And then the deft little touch, his 5th handball today, his career high is 6.
I reckon 3 of those handballs have been direct goals as well.
Goal assists.
So we shouldn't judge him by goals. We should judge him by goals he kicked and how many he's created.
They'd be up at about half a dozen now. Suddenly the lead is up to 54 points, starting to get ugly indeed for Richmond. Here they come again. Baker. No free kick. Gehrig up quickly.
Been a good battle, that one, Gasper and Gehrig.
Baker getting it again. Harvey in support. Baker goes himself. Here they go, Gehrig and Gasper. Free kick this time.
Last minute you did.
Is it a timing issue?
It's a logical approach. Is it a timing issue? Who grabbed who first?
Well, years ago that would have been let go, and this is one of the things. I think that was a fantastic decision. Gasper was the one that put his 2 hands around Fraser Gehrig to start the contact, and there'd be a few players around the league that would take note of that, because there are a few defenders of yesteryear that got away with that a lot.
Interesting your interpretation. I reckon that Steve Silvani would have a different one.
Exactly right.
The lead is now 10 goals. Fraser has kicked 3.
But it is one of those difficult decisions that umpires have to make. You'd love them to make them more often in ruck duels at boundary throw-ins. Let's see if we can get another.
Gasper's eyes initially weren't on the ball. He put both arms around him. Free kick. And also around his head.
And what do you think of Fraser's do there, Wayne?
Well, I can't bag anyone's do. But
they're leaving a little bit down the back.
But it's better than what he had there a year or so ago.
10 goals, Saints.
Right, just relax.
Stafford now contesting the centre bounces. Coghlan nowhere to go.
Still been a great battle. I've really enjoyed Gasper trying to work Fraser Gehrig over physically, taking him down to the ground.
I think he's done a terrific job. Likewise, I think Fraser's worked very hard for a guy that, as we know, just starting to find some of his best form and fitness.
Again, Coghlan nowhere to go. Stephen Baker getting up close and personal. Close talker there.
Troy Swartz omitted for today's match. Rewald coming in. Positions are tight in this unit.
Penny not too far away. Campbell long ball up to the 50. Maguire under pressure. Got boot the ball quickly. Now Delidio And there's a couple of steps on Goddard, a couple of high draft picks there, and Delidio
Did that well.
brilliantly. And, well, Richo's got several to beat down there. Baker covering ground. Xavier Clark now. Just a deft chip for Del Santo.
Shows a little bit, Delidio, doesn't he?
Yeah, that was a brilliant move. He's got good feet, good balance.
He was the top pick in 04. Goddard 02.
Needs 50 games under his belt.
Tivendale runs, carries it. Pettiford look out. Drives it long to a one-on-one. Brown wrestling with Baker. Cracker lurking. Had a quiet day. He is an opportunist, though, and that's a goal. And as one of those forwards that won't be winning a lot of the ball, when he gets it, he's got to do something with it. His second kick today, a goal.
Like the Milne goal a couple of minutes ago, he just got to the fall of the ball and kicked a great goal. And he has to get to the fall of the ball more often when they kick it into the key forwards.
We've got to get those posts taller. 17-8 plays. 8-8. 7:53 remaining. Third quarter. Thanks for the support, Jared.
Brother.
Okay, here we go.
Richmond have not strung 2 goals together in this match. Thompson, Raph Clark, Jones. He always seems to have so much time. Penetrating kick for Hamill, awkward one to pick up. Tried to take it on the full, just couldn't hang on. Coghlan has been harassed this quarter. Delidio's dumped viciously. Hall ditto. Hamill's loving it. We'll have a bounce.
Relax out, relax.
And you heard the crowd's reaction applauding that terrific passage of play.
Let him run, Greg, all right?
It's a crowded midfield.
Yeah.
You both on each other.
Third man up to Lydio. Smashing it forward. Good shepherd provided by Maguire, freeing up Heckett. Saint split. Fiora can carry it here. Goes wide for Geary. Boundary throwing. And Milne indicating to Fiora to pop it up to the hot spot.
It didn't seem a very well thought out pass, because Fraser's left footer, he's going to be on the acutest of angles. He's going to have to kick it to the hot spot anyway.
Goddard emerging from the pack, and it's through for a behind. Touch ball regardless.
And Brendan Goddard's a highly talented player, as we all know, but he's just taking a little bit of time to settle into this team, or to blossom fully as a high draft pick. He's had his moments, but still starting from the bench on many occasions.
Coghlan for Tivendale, drops the goodies, opens the door for Milne, goes himself and misses. Well, the Saints have had their chances this term to really explode. 4 goals, 5 now.
And as we see there, Big Fraser wasn't too happy with Milne there.
It's a right grin, wasn't it?
He's been very unselfish tonight, Milne, but Fraser still not happy with that one.
That's forward line politics.
Newman out wide. Well, he waited for it, Coghlan. Thompson closed fast, put the pressure on. Delidio doesn't have the veteran's goal yet to take it out. Backed himself, did well. Newman for Coghlan to the outer wing. That's a terrific ball. Now Tivendale.
Might be worth Terry Wallace having a look at Delidio more in that defensive area, just to allow him, give him a responsibility of a player, because he's got the skills when he brings the ball out to hit targets. He could easily interchange with Joel Bowden. He wouldn't do it as well as Joel, because Joel's got 200 games exposure, but they could play a similar role.
Markers paid to Nathan Brown. He's told he's off. Pops it up to the hot spot. Richardson tucked at the front. Clark, clever knock on for Maguire, for Goddard. Now Aussie Jones, the springboard from defence. Fisher. Oh, look at... Oh, he slipped. He was thinking about the options. Jones kept running for him, though. Working well together, these Saints. Long ball for Hamill and Hall. Hamill reading it well. Couldn't hang on. Guerra, quick recovery. Crowd say he was tripped. Umpire says no. Harvey with the steal. Out of bounds.
Well, the game just going through a bit of a slow motion patch. And Richmond just have got to find some energy at that three-quarter time break. Because St Kilda have got the capacity to score very quickly.
Straight out.
112 playing 56. Tigers kicked the opening goal of the game. St Kilda responded with the next 6 and have not trailed. Tucked to midfield, Brown and Baker. There's a couple of good duels going on in this ground, and that's one of them. Now Pettifer, he's a good kick of the footy, on the run, closes to 40, well done. No, touched on the line, didn't kick through it.
It had to go to Richo though. He did all the wrong work to draw the opponent. Terrific defence by Richo's opponent to make him kick. And look at that mongrel. Richo running, would have run into an open goal 20 metres out.
Now disappointing miss there by Pettifer. And the Tigers, 8 goals 9. Goddard to a one-on-one. Graham. Here's Bowden. Brown. Steadies. To the pocket for Cracker. And Pettifer again. Caught high.
Tackle slipped up next. Here we go, the tackle slipped up. Didn't duck his head down.
Well, they manufactured this really, Jared. The tools, all the tools. Richo was at half-back. He'd followed his man down, and Simmons decided to lead as a fast-leading full forward rather than probably stay in the goal square and call that long ball in. But in saying that, Pettifer has a shot for goal.
It's going to run around. Still a very tight angle. Across the face for another behind.
If you're going to have the tall forwards, I think you've always at least have to have one of those in the goal square for that long kick in.
This quarter, the Saints with 4-5. The Tigers 3 goals 2. Jones is off. And free kick before the ball arrived on the contest. Fiora will take it. Matty doesn't agree.
No, he's a bit frustrated. Hasn't had much of the footy, one handball this quarter, so it hasn't gone his way. But he's just got to find some discipline within and get his hands on it. Have an impact on the match.
Wait for the call.
Harvey's had an impact. 20 possessions, 6 kicks, 14 hand passes. 8 of those 20 possessions contested balls won. Here's Thompson.
Pretty hard to find fault with the St Kilda outfit at the moment, Wayne, with so many, well, a couple of key players to come back in, Penny and Rewald. They just look as if they're right on track.
Exactly right. And look, as I said at half-time, what a player to have in your stocks, Robert Harvey. You know, it's all the young guns these days getting all the accolades. He just pops up and has a lazy 20 before three-quarter time.
33 years of age, no less. An ageless one. There's Coughlin. Handball stolen by Guerra. Sweeping ball for Gehrig, just trying to tap it back into the field of play. Gasper, look out. Del Santo closing. Tuck. Tigers under enormous pressure. Ball with the pick-up for Bowden. Now they can relieve on a long lead, Richo.
Yep, that's what happens when you drop your focus.
And the wry smile from Richo there. He realised he had Hutchton beat. A little bit of a fumble.
And the Saints fans were forgiven.
As they always are.
Well, it's about the only reaction you've got there. The game's gone.
Yeah.
Richo can either turn on a tantrum, or he can get back and just say, well, okay, let's see what we can achieve in the next 40 minutes of footy.
Look at this veteran run. Peckett closing to 60. The handball for Guerra. Sees Milne, goes to him. Over his head. Milne kept his feet, working against a couple of Tigers. Newman the pickup. Hamill. Crunched. Big tackle, Newman. Umpire's been barreled over there. Run into tuck. Well,
I'm not sure there whether the umpire was actually going to play holding the ball or not until he got knocked over. Decided to say to ball up.
I got hammered as well, mate, so I couldn't say a thing.
Well, you heard it there. I got hammered as well, mate. So they'll be able to reflect on their war wounds later. Goddard emerging.
Good play from Goddard.
Play on the call. Voss, he kicked 4 last week.
He's kicking down first.
He kicked 4 last week, and he's got 1 today as well. Advantage paid. It's becoming a party for the Saints here.
Yeah, it's moved into the shellacking category. And it was wise words from the umpire there, just letting players know to keep the elbows and the forearms down, because there've been just a couple of late ones, and Goddard was on the end of one there.
Quicker to tell you who hasn't kicked goals today for St Kilda than who has. They've had 12 goal kickers. Minute remaining in the third quarter. The margin is 10 goals. The Saints have won every term, and comfortably. Brown trying to squeeze it out. Baker under pressure. Maguire's been terrific. Xavier Clark finding an opening. Tigers winning the hit out. Saints the clearances though. Thompson long ball. Diving Newman, good mark.
Let him go, Steve. Let him go. Let him go. Play on.
Chaffee. Risky. Stolen by Voss.
Let him go.
Now Leeds go everywhere. He spies Hamill. Crunch into Graham. They both get up. Del Santo's got the goodies though, and he kicks a poster.
I think in the end it was Hamill doing the crunching.
Look, that is a fantastic contest. You have to give him some accolades, Graham, the way he went back then, and Hamill also. When you come forward like that for a mark, it's just as courageous to follow through like Hamill did there, and look, great courage from both players.
Working our way towards three-quarter time. The margin 61 points. And Richo will finish with the footy but won't get a chance for the kick. Three-quarter time at the Telstra Dome on Fox Foot. Also, there's that man, a future Brownlow medalist, Nick Del Santo. Quality player. Final term on Fox Footy Sunday. Saints by 61 points to the right. And will Luke Ball emerge with it? The acting captain getting another win under his belt towards centre-half forward. Ball and Kellaway. Kellaway kicking perhaps as much for the boundary line as anything. 3 Saints will get there first. Voss. Quickly on Kazitsky. Del Santo, here they go.
Yours.
Centering it. Baker.
Stay out, stay out. Thanks,
Has mentioned his good duel with Nathan Brown. Brown 13 possessions and 3 marks. Baker delivering it to the hot spot over the head of Gehrig. Milne dangerous. Newman read him well. Gasper for Jackson. Backs himself. Now Brown from half back. Simmons on the lead to the wing.
Good work there by all Tigers. Jackson running hard. Brown delivering well. Simmons.
He telegraphed that kick. Telegraphed it. Baker out wide. Milne. The slippery Stephen Milne. Oh, he's dangerous, isn't he? I don't think he knows what he's going to do at times. Gehrig the target, charging through Aussie Jones. What about Hamill? So many options, and they mucked it up. Kellaway working with Bowden and Tivendale and Brown and Jackson. And Jackson away, turns 19 tomorrow.
Got some pace, Jackson. Going to be a player for the Tigers for the next decade.
Oh, Simmons not a good kick. Again, this time Ackman with the steal. At the hands of the trainers, and Newman coming off. Aussie Jones, for the time being, Tigers a man down, as if they needed anything extra, and that's the man who was picking up Stephen Milne. Chris Newman really knocked about right near you, Wade.
Yeah, look, he got cleaned up when Stephen Milne feigned to play on there. He didn't. Chris Newman didn't see Stephen Baker picking him off and just got poleaxed down the middle of the chest there. But look, a little bit winded, but certainly got cleaned up well and truly by Stephen Baker.
Oh, crunch. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Stephen, said Chris. Stephen Milne now with 3 goals, 2 to his credit.
Okay, Joel.
Now has 15 for the year.
That's a pretty good effort for a small forward to have 15 goals at this stage of the year, but more importantly, Terry Wallace would be wanting the Tigers to be competitive in this last quarter, if not try to win the last quarter. And look, we often say that it's the team leaders that have to lift, the Matthew Richardsons, the Browns and these guys, but look, I think it's the middle of the range players of Richmond that really have to show them something in this last quarter.
Yeah, just going back to Milne's tally, it's working at 3 goals a match. It gets you up into the, I guess, the lofty areas of 60 plus for a small forward. That's a tremendous start to the year.
He led the Saints goal kicking in 2002 when he booted 50. That was 6th in the AFL that year. They're going to win the clearance with Ackland driving it wide. Kaczynski worked hard to get free of Kellaway. Has it too far out to score. Milne's calling him in. Gehrig and Hamill as well. Goes to Gehrig in the pack. Waiting down Hall. Makes Chaffey wait. Gehrig dumped by Jackson. Coghlan for Hall. Tied up Jones and ball a bounce.
It was very interesting to watch Milne then. He actually led in the vicinity that Fraser was leading, calling for the ball to be kicked to Fraser. Basically then just turned around and waited for the crumb. He knows where his bread's buttered. That's at Fraser's feet.
He'll be there every time.
Ball near the boundary line.
Disposal.
Just brilliant, isn't it? Classy touches. Now Goddard. He's a good kick of the football as well.
Simmons coming off for a rest. Just a bit down on confidence. The disposals let him down a little bit. Graham comes on.
Yeah, he's right on the 50, Brennan.
Goddard with a couple of score assists this evening.
Right on the 50, Trent, where you are.
47th senior game. And missing this one to the right-hand side. The attendance today maxing out at 49,580. The best for a match between these two clubs since they met on the Queen's birthday holiday of the 98 season at Waverley, when more than 71,000 saw a Saints victory. So this constitutes a great success for St Kilda as the home team and the AFL. I think we might see a match on Anzac Eve at this time again next year. Noble down the line towards Campbell at half forward.
Brett, stay there, Brett.
The former skipper says it's his final year. Goes to Bowden. Too far out to score.
To ponder round 8. Wayne, St Kilda versus the West Coast. Some time to think about it.
Noble with the mark.
Right now, you'd expect Port Adelaide to re-emerge when they get their group back together. There's got to be a question mark on Brisbane.
Yeah,
St Kilda have done well. Melbourne's certainly up there. There's a number of sides now. Genuine chance.
Should mention that match will be at Subiaco.
Yeah, look, it will be a fantastic game, and St Kilda will have a few players back. West Coast flying at Subiaco. Yeah, it'll be a special game to be involved in. But we keep riding off the Kangaroos. They're 5-zip as well. Are they not a chance?
I don't think they're a chance for the flag.
Noble hooks the kick for a behind.
But I guess in an even year like this, everybody's a chance. So when Adelaide won a flag once when they came into the finals with, I guess, nobody thinking they could win it.
Who's your 3 favourites in order right now for the flag? There's a handball to Wayne.
Handball to me.
Get that in a moment. You can think about it. Collision course. And they're both groggy. It was like Healy and Adams there. Maguire going down. Richo in to console his teammate. Neither player has moved behind play. Meanwhile, the ball going forward for St Kilda. Goddard. Attention drawn elsewhere for the supporters here. That ball's a behind, and we'll go back to the players. Yeah, that was a severe head clash.
The stretcher.
And the stretcher has been called for both players. Courage has been on display in vast quantities this evening.
He was out before he hit the ground.
Yeah. And that's Matt Maguire and the Tiger coming through, Chris Hyde. Just one of those, look at the eyes for the football both. The two number 31s, heads coming together, both down, both out for the moment, and there will obviously be a long delay here as both players will be carried off. But that's just everything about the game there. Eyes for the football, great courage, you put your body on the line.
Not a game in the world where you have to keep your eye on the footy like that and show that type of courage, yet have to be able to run 15 kilometres in a game. Yeah. It's an incredible game. You hate to see that. It's sickening to sit up here and watch two guys clash heads like that.
Two players who have been playing so well. Maguire, particularly in that second term, just outstanding. 17 possessions, 6 marks, 8 contested balls won. And here's the thoughts of Nathan Burke, Grant Thomas and the coaching staff of St Kilda, and Hyde with 17 touches as well for the Tigers in a year where Terry Wallace has taken the shackles off Chris Hyde, and he had been impressive in the opening month of the season.
These head clashes seem to happen more and more often now than ever before. And
is it because of the pace of the game?
Look, I think it probably is, and to be honest, I think players are under the microscope so much now they can't hide anywhere. No one takes their eye off the ball, let's be honest. The courage of the players today is second to none.
I think it's at a much higher level than at any other period in the game. And I think that the running back with a flight of the ball, it was a rarity when, say, Ken Hunter did it. Then you made it a trademark, and then you've inspired a new generation to do it themselves. We saw Nick Riewoldt take that classic mark in Sydney. I think it was last year, might have been the year before. But once again, every player is under the microscope. There's so many shows that will focus on any, I guess, wavering off the line, that we are seeing this happen on a more regular basis.
So you don't see players get injured too often with a fair hip and shoulder where they don't hit heads. You saw the Aaron Hamill one and Graham earlier in the third quarter. Both players bounced up, got on with it. It's when you have this head clash that there's real danger involved, and let's just hope both these players are okay.
49,580 at the Telstra Dome this evening, and the Saints well and truly in control of the match, and their players now, the other players out there, just going for a bit of a jog, because as I mentioned, this has been a long delay while the injured players are cared for, and they will take no risks, the medical staff of the respective sides, for Chris Hyde and Matt Maguire. Wayne Schross down on the boundary. Have you been able to elicit any information on Lenny Hayes?
No, I haven't, Clinton, and to be quite honest with you, everything's just been overshadowed with what we've just seen in the last couple of minutes. A sickening sight, but unfortunately I'll do my best to give an update for those concerned family members and supporters out there for both players, but that will take some time, obviously.
All right, Wayne, thanks for that. As the applause for the players being carried off, Maguire being taken off with the assistance of the Saints trainers, and the Tiger Hyde will be going off on the cart. We might return to that question, the 3 premiership contenders, Wayne.
Before you go, I think we've just been given a reminder, and a tragic reminder in many ways, that in the blink of an eye, you can talk about premierships now, but Matt Maguire may be out for a week or two, and these sorts of, we've still got 20-odd weeks of football to go before you line up in the final week. Injuries is going to pay a major toll as well.
Well, let's hope it is only a week or two, Jared. Yeah, but you're exactly right. I think there's so many clubs that are on an even keel. This year it's more open than any other year. And look, we don't like to say it, and coaches don't like to say it, but unfortunately with premierships, luck plays a very big part. Plays a big part with injury. And, you know, if the Saints lose a Maguire, still got Riewoldt out, all of a sudden they go to Perth and they haven't got a few of their really good players playing against the #1 side in the competition at the minute, and it can be the difference.
So there's no teams there. West Coast, Melbourne, St Kilda.
I'll get to that. Look, I think right now, if you had a look at it, I would say West Coast and Melbourne would be the two sides. And look, I'm not riding off the Kangaroos. I think they have the potency up forward and also on ball to actually pinch a grand final. And I think they've proven that. They've won 5 games in a row now. Their backline solid. Lee Colbert's having a fantastic year. Glenn Archer's having his best year of all time, averaging 20-odd possessions. Look, I wouldn't be writing them off, but as we said, like a lot of other sides, they get a couple of injuries, and they've got none at the minute. Kangaroos are flying full kilt. I think they've got Brady Rawlings to come back in after suspension, and also Motlop, and they're flying at full kilt. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Long way to go yet.
True. The acknowledgement there for Chris Hyde from the Tiger and the St Kilda supporters as well after that head clash between the two players, and Wayne Schross will endeavour to find out some news for us before we go off the air here at the Telstra Dome at the end of this match. Still 14.5 minutes of playing time to go. It will be a long quarter now. Bowden going short for Coghlan at half-back. Richardson in front of Hodgson. At the back, Baker working hard, getting by Brown. Steadies, pops it up. Tigers, though, with numbers back. Comfortable mark for Joel Bowden.
I think summing up, in a long-winded way, we've said there's about 7 clubs that can win the flag.
Which is great for the competition. It is going to be a terrific year. And who would have thought Port Adelaide and Brisbane, who played off on the last Saturday in September last year, a win each after 5 rounds. Staggering. Graham with the footy below us. Tigers without a goal in the final 2. Yet to win a quarter today. Inside 50, Campbell takes a pack mark. And can have a shot at goal. The veteran in his 280th game.
Mark's in. Thanks, Nick.
Wonder if he does play them all, whether he'd be tempted to go and play on to next year for the 300. He'll fall a few short. 45-degree angle. The kick's a good one. He's got his first goal.
Just talking about veterans, Robert Harvey's had 22 possessions today, and as we said earlier, he's an absolute marvel. But the fact that he wouldn't get tagged anymore, it's the Del Santos, Goddards, Hayes, these guys that are getting tagged for St Kilda. So he's able to sneak under the guard and continually get plenty of the footy. Great to see an old fella out there still doing the job.
Margin 62 points. It was 61 at the final change. Ackland and Noble. Noble going early, winning it on the way down. Ball and Rains. Ball continuing to bollock through.
Chance, he's tried. Held to him.
You said earlier, Jared, it's been a good battle between Ball and Coghlan.
Yep.
I think Coghlan may have had probably the better of him. He's had a little bit more of the ball, but it's been a fantastic contest.
Head-to-head number-wise, Ball with 13 possessions and Coghlan 22. There's Tuck. Drives it high for Richardson. Hodgson, timely fist. Graham, good pick-up. Fisher, though, won't let him go. Some latitude. Rains.
Tizzy moves like his dad, Rains.
And got his number 4 as well, which helps. Coghlan. And caught. Campbell in the back.
Gee, I reckon that's a bad decision from Scott McLaren. Wayne Campbell just dropped to his knees. I think he was trying to sneak out the back. He got the result anyway.
Rains goes long. Well, Tigers had plenty of numbers. Richo's going to take the awkward left foot off balance kick, which goes across the face. Del Santo the mark. Richo without a goal today after a couple of impressive weeks coming in, just 3 behinds.
A player that we haven't mentioned too much today that can come into this Richmond midfield is obviously their captain, Kane Johnson. Yep. He'll add a lot to this Tigers side, and look, I think, although it's been a disappointing day for the Tigers, they've got a few players to come back in, and I think the Tigers will upset a few as they go along through this year.
Well, we've seen their best is pretty good. They need Johnson back in. We'd like to see their boom recruit also come in and show what he showed in the Wizard Cup, Tambling.
He was very quick, wasn't he? We'll see the Tigers on Fox Footy Sunday next week. Back here, playing Port Adelaide. It's Tiger TV.
Foxtel Tiger. Tiger Foxtel.
Kazitsky goes back. Raphael Clark at centre half back. Drifting it out wide to Saints on a collision course. Talk, boys. Hutchton with the mark. Handball for Ackland. Gee, made him work. Big man picked it up all right. Raph Clark waxes to Zabel.
Just on Kane Ackland, it has been an inspired decision to pick up Kane Ackland. We all knew he could play. We saw him play as a skinny youngster for Port Adelaide, but he went missing for a couple of seasons, and it was John Beveridge, I believe, who had the faith in him and plucked him. I think Matty Rendell saw him at Port Adelaide, knew his strengths, and he's been an unbelievable player for them this year.
12 games in 4 years at Port, playing his 5th in a row in his first year at Moorabbin. Here's a good duel. Fisher and Graham. Fisher does well. Well, he could have been a pro golfer. He took up footy instead, doing well. Ball for Del Santo. 50 out on the run. Missing to the near side.
Could have been a pro golfer. What's he thinking?
He took footy over golf 3 years ago. Was a serious consideration as Richardson takes a break.
I love my footy, but you don't have to train as hard. Golf.
You can play longer. There's no one out there trying to belt you.
A little bit more money.
Oh, yeah, just a bit. Ask Adam Scott at the minute. In line for a nice payday. Campbell taken over. Boundary throw in on that Astro turf as Campbell and Hamill.
Straight up, straight up. Good work, well done. Let go, good tackle.
Show that feelings are still running hot.
Simmons back on, Campbell off.
On the wing, Noble caught behind Ackland. Love the way Luke Ball just barrels his way through. No fear whatsoever. Tucks kick inside the 50. Oh, high one. Advantage is paid. And Xavier gets up gingerly, pats Mark Graham on the back, and that was good to see. As Fiora goes for Milne. Well, jumps the mark he'd normally take. Look at him. The artful dodger. Harvey going back. Here's Peckett now. 9 minutes remaining in the game. Centering ball for Goddard. Elects to decide to pass it to Milne, who covered a lot of ground quickly. He bounces back up, swings onto the left, snaps at goal. Gehrig in the square. Gasper, terrific kill today. Behind the result.
Fantastic work rate there from Milne,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not something that he's renowned for, but great work rate.
And another look at Graham and de Clark. 129 to 65. Tigers' best ever score. Saints' best ever score against Richmond, 165. 24-21. So they will fall short of that, you would think. Although Baker's going to try and set something up from centre half back. He's got a loose man in Fiora on the outer wing. His 16th possession, a good one. Finds Guerra.
That was a magnificent field kick. Would have travelled the best part of 45 metres. It was perfect.
I said not too long ago that Terry Wallace would be looking for the Tigers to show a bit of fight and actually make this into a bit of a dog fight and maybe even win the quarter, but they're finding far too much space on the wings and also forward for my liking.
Guerra without a goal today, kicked 29 goals, 5 last season in his 18 matches, which indicates he's a straight shooter. And there is Exhibit B. The lead is out to 70 points as we hit the ground level with Wayne.
Clinton visited both rooms. Pleased to say that both boys, both Matt Maguire and Chris Hyde, are actually sitting upright. They're communicating with the medicos. But purely as a precautionary, they'll both head off to hospital and they'll get some preliminary checks done. But it's safe to say that the boys are up communicating, which is a good sign.
Terrific news. Thanks, Wayne.
When you're trying to build a premiership team, you obviously, with the draft and the restrictions, you've got to be so good at plucking your players from opposition clubs. Through your premiership era, you picked up, I guess Scott was probably one of those classic ones you picked up from Geelong, who was just a great player for you.
Oh, there were plenty. Pike, Scott, Blakey.
Blakey was another classic.
You know, there were Dennis Pagan very good at getting players from other clubs and making them into very, very good players.
And if you have a look at the Saints, they've got
half a dozen today.
Pettifer.
As Pettifer comes in and misses. Yeah, 6 Saints out there today. High tackle. And he will have another shot.
But I reckon if you can pluck somebody who gives you structure like a ruckman, then it's a double whammy. And Ackland has given them the ruck option, which has allowed Kazitsky to go forward, and he also has just added to their mobility, their midfield.
He's a good athlete.
That was after the kick. Had the kick been a goal, would have he had another shot?
No. All clear.
All clear goal, but if the free came after the kick,
so you would have thought
double goal.
Well, it has happened before, but I don't think the umpires play it too often, do they?
Pettifer should kick it and does. Time on, final term. Saints 2015. Tigers get their 10th, 10 goals 11. Pettifer with his first.
Well, it's been a disappointing night, I guess, all round for Richmond, but as we said earlier, there have been some positives throughout this first 5 weeks. They've had 2 bad losses against top sides. They've had 3 excellent wins against sides at the bottom half of the ladder. So they've put a ceiling under their performance, I think, and that's what would be viewed as a positive from Richmond supporters. They want to see some improvement. I don't think they necessarily want to rise so rapidly that they get ahead of schedule.
Exactly right. You can put yourself into a false sense of security if you pinch a couple of wins that maybe you're not ready for. All of a sudden, players start thinking that they're a better side than what they are, and they don't have to put in that hard work. And I know Jason Dunstall spoke yesterday about the Kangaroos-Hawthorn game, and was quite happy that it was competitive. But if they had beaten the Kangaroos, may have got ahead of themselves.
Did close that 39-point margin back to within a goal and threatened to pinch it late. As we have another bounce in the middle. Come on up. Come on up.
That's never pinned.
Well, that's where you show a bit of initiative, umpire, and say this is boring.
Yeah, the crowd were pulling up. 64 points, the margin. Third man up, winning it for the Tigers. Delidio, gee, got it on the boot quickly. Gives his forwards a chance. Can Stafford recover in time? No. And Fisher will help it over for a throw-in.
Well, there's a positive right there, Jared. Delidio, number 1 draft pick last year, and he's showing some good signs. He showed a great turn of foot earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Chris Judd-like out on centre wing. He shows a fair bit.
I think what you take out of this, if you're a Delidio, is you just look at the strength of Ball and Del Santo and the ferociousness of the St.Kilda midfield, and say, well, that's the benchmark. If I'm to play in a successful era at Richmond, you've got to get in the gym, you've got to get players around you that are going to build up, you've got to build a chest, put some muscle on, and attack the footy the same way that Luke Ball does.
Get onto the protein shakes.
Okay. Wayne didn't tell you he was a 75% owner of the company.
Oh.
Brown kicking and missing the near side.
Protein shakes? There's no such company.
Company that produces them. 135 now playing 72.
So I reckon it was really evident in the first half, particularly in the first quarter, that Richmond were ferocious at the footy, but they just got bumped off by a side just as ferocious, but much more muscular and strong.
Yeah, look, it takes a couple of years for guys to put on weight, and you often hear about players trying to lose weight at football clubs. Just as difficult for these young kids to put on weight. They find it very difficult. Dietitians telling them that they have to have 6, 7, 8 meals a day, and they have all of these supplements. And with all the running they do, they find it very difficult to put weight on.
Raphael Clark, who passed that ball off. Good back-to-back weeks. 20 touches against the Demons. Now 21 going here in this game. Xavier Clark with the long kick towards Fiora. Chaffee. The spoil reigns, slipping the tackle. Brown, weaved by Guerra, feeds Tivendale, goes short for Campbell. Brown keeps running. Campbell hangs on to it. Saints flooding numbers back, so devoid of options. Now Stafford leads to the pocket. He rewards the lead. The kick didn't get there in the end. Cracker putting his body on the line. Jones and Fisher shovel out handballs. Here's Raf Clark again. Del Santo. No one downfield. Has to wait. Still no one. That's why he's gone backwards. Finds Ackland. Not a pretty ending to this football game, but the Saints have done enough to give their percentage a nice boost. We'll have a boundary throw-in.
Good to see before Big Stafford coming out on the lead, not do anything silly late in the game. To Aussie Jones going back with the ball, just simply put the spoil on the football.
Half forward the Tigers. Short of the 16 goal per game target here by 6. Kazitsky caught by Kellaway. Thompson. Goddard. Del Santo. Towards Guerra. In the end, he had to spoil Graham for a boundary throw-in.
He's been a pretty serviceable pickup. Mark Graham looked like his career was over at the end of last year when he parted ways with the Hawks. Terry Wallace has got him on the list, I guess, as a short-term fix, and he's doing his job.
Hasn't got a lot of the ball, but put his body on the line a couple of times today, which has been great for the Richmond Football Club.
Jackson.
Charging through.
Good, don't argue.
And St Kilda win the free. Advantage play on Xavier Clark. He's too quick for Graham. He delivers low. Gehrig on the lead. Milne at the back. He's going to kick number 5. Or as he kicks it like that, perhaps we should say, goal! Stephen Milne.
He was miles ahead of anybody else on the field.
He knew what was happening.
Just as I think it was Tucker, one of the Richmond players was going down to spoil it. He was actually kicking it out of the air. That was Ray Hall.
Oh, the eyes lit up.
Well, he was at Fraser's feet again. As it went over the top, he just ran onto that beautifully, and he'd have to give Fraser half his pay, one would think. He hangs around him like a bad smell, doesn't he?
Look at Ray Hall. He just had no idea about the ball. He was looking to stop Milne, and at the same time Milne was thinking, I'll just soccer this, and through she went.
A 5-goal evening for Stephen Milne. He has 16 for the season. Would you believe it? He has a share of the lead in the Coleman medal race. Fiora handballing it out wide. Could he enjoy the lead outright by the end of this? Fisher for Fiora. Loose man finding space. Del Santo. 24th possession coming up. He was at number 25 average possessions coming into this game. Second most in the AFL entering round 5. He was first in contested possession 1, and he's had 6 of those today. Voss on the wing going short for Fiora. Good game against his old club. Going to the pocket for Gehrig. Got it. He's kicked 3. And that is mark number 6.
No, he's not off. He's not off.
Fraser might have wanted to play on there for a little bit, but look, that space on that side of the ground was left there for quite some time, and one of the good things about St Kilda is the discipline that they have within their forward line. They lead in and out of space. You saw Milne lead into that exact spot, realising, no, I've got to get out now. He got out, which allowed Fraser to lead into it and take a nice mark.
And kick. Goal number 4.
Scott Lucas had queried whether or not he played on or not after what happened in, was it round 1?
Yes, it was.
Where he was called to play on in a pretty pivotal decision. But anyway, the G train has gone back and kicked a pretty good goal. Tight angle for a left footer.
Grant Thomas was saying yesterday that one of the things that he loves about Fraser Gehrig is his unpredictability, and as a forward, as a backman, you just never know what he's going to do. He likes to play on every now and then. And it is a great strength of his. He's a great player to watch.
An emphatic display here by St Kilda. The margin 75 points. If it ended now, it would equal their 4th best ever win in 97 years against Richmond. Graham with the footy for the Tigers. Wants to go quickly. Can they respond? Stafford, top of the square, caught behind Ackland. Well, that was a dubious handball, Delidio to Brown, and the damage in the end insignificant.
It's been an emphatic display by St Kilda. I know we've made the point before, but a man who many regard as the best player in the AFL is to go into this side, and the bloke who's been an outstanding fullback. 2 structural components to go into this team that has taken all before them over the last couple of weeks.
The Saints next Sunday at the MCG playing Collingwood. They will enter that match 3 wins and 2 losses, and very much season back on track. They began the year the premiership favourites.
It's amazing what has changed since round 1. They went to Brisbane, got touched up after 3/4 time, after half time.
Some holding there and a free kick St Kilda's way. The Lions have not won since.
Well, that player you were talking about, if he hadn't have gone off in that Brisbane game, I think the result could have been a little different.
Closing in on the final minute. And Hamill and Rahal, no time for silly things, boys.
Come on, fellas. Nothing silly now, Aaron.
Nothing silly confirmed from the umpire. 74 points St Kilda's lead. Is there time for one more?
Kick it now.
Many of the Tiger fans in the 49,500 have long since departed.
Kane, come back 1 minute, Kane.
But it's the early stages of the rebuilding plan for the boys from Punt Road. And there will be peaks and troughs along the way, and this is one such trough today. Andrew Thompson, with just the 4 touches, spent a portion on the interchange bench.
Shut up.
147 to 73.
Well on.
Impressive weeks for the Saints. 45 goals in the last 2 matches. Tivendale now with time running out for the Tigers. Bowden. Can he finish with a goal? Lays it off for Nathan Brown. He's a good finisher. Brown kicks the goal, his second.
And that's enough for Terry Wallace. He knows the game is done and dusted, and time to get down to the rooms and start preparing for next week.
For our digital viewers, make sure you stay with us after the game. The press conferences in full from Terry Wallace and Grant Thomas. For everyone else, the winners coming up in just a moment.
Well, Jared, you were nearly a coach there a few years ago. There was rumoured. What if you were Terry Wallace? What would you be saying after the game?
Well, I don't think you'd be talking too much differently to what we've been discussing. That there were some positives, there were plenty of negatives. It was righto. Let's get back to how we played against Fremantle last week. I think it just establishes where they are in their football rebuilding phase, and that is